Hello, it's Midday live from the News Hub here at Adesawi Kanda in Accra. My name is Efua Teku. The headlines. Alumni of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology locked up in crunch meeting over closure of school. Meanwhile, National Union of Ghana Students in China has condemned the violence at the university as students vacate the campus. On the international front, Turkish president says Jamal Khashoggi killing was planned days in advance. We have all these and more in the next 1 hour. Do stay with us now to our very first story. Alumni of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST, are locked up in a meeting today following a shutdown of the school. The premier university in the Ashanti region was closed down indefinitely on Monday after students went on rampage to protest claimed brutality by the campus security personnel. Property worth thousands of cedis was vandalized, while many, including the personnel, ran for their lives. After an assessment of the extent of damage caused, the Regional Security Council ordered a dusk-to-dawn curfew on Monday, while asking all Ghanaian students to vacate the halls of residence latest by midday Tuesday. So we are joined on the phone lines by Anthony Aveji, the organizing secretary of the KNUST alumni. Good afternoon to you, Anthony, and thanks for your time this afternoon. So we understand you are in a meeting with the management of the school. What sorts of issues are coming up in that meeting?
Well, we are not in meeting with the school. We are meeting with the alumni, which is meeting, not with the school.
Oh, the alumni is meeting with itself?
Yes,
with the members? Right. So what sorts of issues are you concerned with this afternoon?
Well, we're trying to get a press release out to as regards happenings in the school, especially yesterday's fortunate events. So first of all, we want to say that as an alumni, we regret the vandalism, and we don't condone it. We want to condemn it to its fuller extent. Then, as previously said, we'll shortly issue a press release regarding all the happenings and stating the alumni's position. Then, thirdly, we want to make it categorically clear that the alumni is a responsible body, and we will not appear to be, in fact, we are not irresponsible. So as regards the allegation by the university, the alumni bashed people to cause this mayhem, it's untrue, and the alumni will not engage in any of such business. So those are the initial thoughts we want to express as an alumni body.
Yes, on that allegation that the alumni instigated the students' body to go on into this demonstration, would you say that even your posturing in this whole situation of the conversion of those halls into mixed sex halls could have influenced the students to go on this path?
Well, I think so. You know, the last straw, as it were, was the series of student brutalization by the security of the university. That was what triggered all this. And, you know, we listened to radio this morning, especially on City. One of the SRC members said they were kind of bottled up. They had bottled up their anger for too long, and maybe yesterday's event was just a way that they vented the unfortunate incident. So, changing the status of the hall, as it were, will not. I mean, that didn't trigger yesterday's thing. It was just the series of brutalities that were heaped on students in the school. I'm sure, and it's obvious that that was what was the last straw, as it were, and not our posturing. We believe in talking to university authorities. We believe in JoJo, and we don't believe in violence. So if you look back, we've been to the university. We've traveled to meet the vice chancellor on not less than 3 occasions, just to see how we can help the university to turn around the challenges it faces regards accommodation. So I will say that it's not our posturing that has led to this, but it's the confrontation which has gone on unattended to that has resulted in this unfortunate situation.
Does the alumni of the school have good relations with the VC? Because there seems to be a certain subtle impression that the alumni is probably not in favor of this particular VC.
Well, not at all. We don't. Of course, we can make input as an alumni, as a recognized body. In fact, we are not even represented on council. The KNUST alumni and then the SRC is represented on council. So, and it's not a personality, as it were. It's a position that's adopted. So, even given the changes made, if we were at, like, we hated him, or we wouldn't have gone to meet him on 3 occasions. We've been there and we had very fruitful discussions. Of course, the solution, or the agency with which he wanted a solution was not going to be feasible by any human standard. So, I mean, that is what has happened, and not otherwise.
Thank you very much. Anthony Aveji is the organizing secretary of the KNUST alumni. So students at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology are complying with directives to vacate the campus premises by midday today. The university has been shut down indefinitely by the Ashanti Regional Security Council and management of the institution after a violent protest by some students. Ashanti Regional correspondent Ibrahim Abubakar has been engaged in some interest groups on the campus.
Yesterday, the Ashanti Regional Security Council, in consultation with management of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, shut down the university indefinitely after a violent protest by some of the students. Well, the students were given up to midday today to vacate the premises of the university. As you can see, a number of the students have started complying with the directive. Now, even as at yesterday, some people started parking out because they say they feel insecure living on campus. A lot of parents have also come here to pick their ones, and there are also a number of VIP buses who have come here to take advantage of the students living to cash in. Let me engage with some of the students and ask them how they feel about this development. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How do you feel about what happened yesterday?
Oh, yesterday was rather unfortunate because we decided to go on a peaceful demonstration, and then bang, it went chaos, and then they started destroying properties. Although the students wanted attention, but I don't think this was the right way to get it. You see, if you have a problem, you just present your petition. But I heard it was because the police fired a warning shot and something like that, so the students too became agitated. So as a result, we are supposed to go home, and then we don't know when we are coming back. And it's
are you okay with this indefinite shutting down?
No, I'm not okay. Like me, for instance, I'm a first year student, and then this is my first time of being in the university, and then I'm to go home indefinitely. I don't know when we are coming back. I don't know how studies is going to be, and then everything. So it's a mess. Yeah.
What do you think management should do to ensure that this doesn't occur again?
If they don't want this to occur again, they have to listen to the student populace, because we are money. Like we are about 50,000 or so. So if we have a problem and then you will not like to address it, and then we get angry, we are many, and then you cannot bring an infantry to come and then counter us, you see.
How do you feel with what happened yesterday by your own colleagues, the vandalism and other things?
Yeah, like I was so scared, I was afraid. Like even I didn't sleep at the hall because of the, it was first meal and it turned to bed. So I didn't sleep, I was so afraid. So I went to another hall to sleep because of the insecurity and stuff.
With the shutting down of the school indefinitely, how do you feel about that also?
Like now, I don't have any idea because I don't know what to say. We are going. When they call us, we will come.
Did you take the news yesterday?
Well, yesterday I was going to drop my kids at school. Then a friend of mine called me to inform me what was happening here. I called my ward and he told me everything was scattered and he was in her room, so I shouldn't worry. But they sent me some of the pictures and I couldn't sleep. I couldn't even do anything. I was very, very worried.
So that's why you came here this morning?
No, I heard that we were supposed to pick our walls here, or they should go home. So I came this morning to pick her up.
I wasn't happy at all. I wasn't happy at all because as a Ghanaians, this is not our attitude. We have to show to this thing. So it's not happy at all. So when I heard this news, that's why I'm here this morning to pick my boy. Yeah.
But what advice would you have for students? We know what happened went beyond student routing, the normal student routing, we know.
I don't want to be in the position to judge anybody because actually I don't know what went on. That's why I just want to reserve my comments about this issue now. Because as a minister of the gospel, if you don't take care, you'll be, I don't know how to say it, but that's why I just want to reserve my comment now.
Messages were sent to the students about the decision, and they comported themselves very well. So there were no incidents. It went very well. What is next is for the management of the university to meet, have discussions. As we talk now, the Minister of Education and the national security officials will be coming around. So a meeting will be held, and then discussions will go on as to the way forward.
Yesterday, the registrar was making some allegation that he suspects some alumni are sponsoring these students.
The writing has been on the wall. Ever since this policy was put in place, there have been threats. They went to court, demonstrated, submitted petitions to people of authority, and we had expected that laws will be made to work.
It was the University Relations Officer, Kwame Iyabua Jr., who is saying that management of the university will be meeting with the Ministry of Interior and National Security to find a lasting solution for this program. As you can see, a number of armed military men are still on campus. They are ensuring law and order. Some police personnel are also around to ensure that nothing untoward happens. They will keep patrolling the school until every student evacuates the premises of the campus. We will keep updating you on any development here on the campus in our subsequent bulletin. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3, KNUST. Yesterday, the Ashanti Regional Security.
So from the Ashanti region, let's go to China, where the National Union of Ghana Students in China has condemned the violence at the university as the students are vacating the premises. We do have on Skype the NUC's president in China, Julius Zha. Julius, thank you for your time this afternoon. So what are you concerned with this afternoon? Is it the protest or the demonstration that resulted in the vandalism, or the conduct of the university that led to the demonstration?
Good afternoon to you and your listeners. I bring you greetings from China, the National Union of Ghana Students, and I greet all your listeners. Yeah, we have a lot of concerns. I think that, first of all, starting, I would want to state that we as a student body, an international student body, for that matter, we are very disappointed in the occurrences over the past few days at one of the premier universities in Africa, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. We do clearly state that the attack on one of the students in that vigil on Friday night was completely out of order. However, our greatest concern is the response to the attack by the student body. We are being trained as the future leaders of this country. And in a situation like this, we do expect that we would handle it more professionally. And for us as
what exactly do you mean by handle it more professionally? Because sometimes there's this impression that nukes tend to resort to vandalism or some sort of harsh protest to make their point known.
Yeah, that's where the whole concept needs to be changed. I think that for us as leadership of nukes, our first point is to meet authorities and to try to discuss these issues. For an issue that occurred on Friday, well, there might be some other issues in the past, but to have such a demonstration and then a destruction of school properties and personal properties yesterday, we do feel that the leadership of the student body could have taken a more appropriate approach to solving the issue than what we saw yesterday.
Also, if a university council comes up with a directive of which nukes or the student body disagree with, is the solution to being heard vandalism and destruction of property and all that?
No, and that is why for us as Nukes China, we are very much concerned. Vandalism or hooliganism has no place in our society, most importantly in our education as a developing country. Basically, we lack a lot of resources, and the very little that we have to destroy them is completely unacceptable. If we do not accept, there are channels. Our constitution gives us channels of communication. Peaceful demonstration is one. Well, the leaders will say it started as a peaceful demonstration, but we know that as at yesterday, temperatures were very high. I do feel that the whole thing of a peaceful demonstration yesterday could have been held on or looked at again. So for us, we want to encourage all our brothers back home that in situations like this, let us understand that the institution is just not for us. There are international students who have to carry some of this information across board. Some of these videos are already spreading on social media, and you never know how the international world carries it out. Some could even carry it as a war on a student campus. There should be better means of our voice being heard than just going out the way we did it.
Finally, Julius, you are a Ghanaian student abroad, so you do appreciate the plight of the international students at the KNUST right now. So, in your view, what would be their concerns right now as the school is shut indefinitely as foreign students?
Yes, I think that for the foreign students, they would be very disappointed. I'll try to put myself into their shoes. Most of them have been asked to go back to their various countries, and some of them have come from very far countries to Ghana to school. And I think that this is a complete mess. We do not know when school will resume, what happens to the academic calendar. Everything is in a mess now, and I think it's very pathetic. I'll just hope that the stakeholders in the education sector will rally together immediately, meet both the students and then the administration of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and try to sort out this issue amicably so that students could return back to academic work as soon as possible.
Julius, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Julius Zhao is the NUCS president in China. Now let's go back to the campus of the KNUST, where Ibrahim Abubakar is standing by to give us an update on developments there. Ibrahim, good afternoon to you. What can you tell us right now happening on the campus of the university?
Well, FY, the 12 o'clock deadline has passed, and I can see a few of the students who are still on campus parking, and these students are the ones waiting for their parents to come and pick them. A number of the military personnel have also started patrolling the various hall of residents to ensure that everything is being done orderly. A number of, or I'll say majority of them, have already left. Early in the morning, over 15 VIP buses came to the school premises to take the students to their various destinations. So most of them have gone now, with the exception of some few who are waiting for their parents to come and pick them.
So what's the mood on campus? Do you still have police presence in the internal security of the school? What's the mood there?
Well, the security is very tight here. I've seen armed military men still patrolling the various corners of the campus. I just saw a couple of police personnel here. I've been here since morning, just now that I saw police. Since morning till now, it was only military patrol team. The campus security are not at post. Since yesterday, they've not been at post because the students went to their various posts to vandalize the area. So none of them is currently on campus. It is the military who are here manning the. If you go to the administration block, they are there in their numbers, and the various hall of residence too. They are here armed.
So we do understand that the foreign students are not part of this particular directive. So where are they now, and what are they doing? What are they up to? And also, is there security where they are?
Yes, they are at their hall of residence at Brunei. But when I spoke to some of them a couple of minutes ago, they were very, very disappointed. A lot of them came from far. Some came all the way from Ethiopia, Kenya, and other places, and they have to go back without knowing when school will resume. Those even from the neighboring countries, Nigeria, Togo, have already left in the morning because for now the school has been closed down indefinitely. They don't know when it will be open. Even when I spoke to some of the students, I mean the Ghanaian students in the morning, they were really, really disappointed with how their counterparts conducted themselves yesterday. Well, they were in support of the peaceful protest to go and present their petition to the administration, but they least expected it to degenerate into chaotic scenes with this vandalization. So most of them started even going home yesterday because they felt insecure. They didn't know what will happen last night. And a number of parents, when I came here, they were rushing here. Some told me they had sleepless nights yesterday. They were just waiting for 6 a.m. To knock. Then they rushed to the school to pick the hours. So the atmosphere here is very, very calm. People are complying to the directive to leave to the campus.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim Abubakar. You're watching Midday Live on TV3. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back shortly. Now, the chief executive of the Chamber of Telecommunications, Ken Ashigbe, has refuted suggestions that telecommunication companies have been colluding ahead of the expected increase in service tariffs after the recalibration of the value-added tax. He was speaking on TV3's business analysis program, Business Focus.
Speaking on TV3's weekly business analysis program, Business Focus, Ken Ashigbe defended the integrity of the telco, saying the competition amongst the chamber's members is intense. The telcos expected to increase the tariffs are Airtel Tigo, MTN, and Vodafone. Contrary to suggestions that the telcos have no justification to increase their tariffs, a CEO of Ghana Telecommunications Chamber insists the price build-up of all the individual telcos are completely different.
We're not increasing telecom tariffs. So the amount that would go to telecommunication companies will not go up. What is happening is that because of the re-engineering of the VAT, Get Fund, and HIL, those two levies are incidents on customers. And as a telecommunication industry, which is also mandated by law to collect this on the behalf of government, we will collect that and give that to government. Our tariffs will not increase. So that what it will just mean is that customers would have to pay more. So that is a completely separate conversation from quality of service conversation.
The Chamber of Telecommunications says it is open to further discussions with government over the imposition of taxes on the operations of its members.
We will definitely use opportunities like this to advance what we think that as an industry we can do to help government in revenue generation. What we're seeing that if government does, would help the industry grow, so that the more the industry grows, so there's a lot more production, there's a lot more contributions to tax revenue, so that the whole mantra of Ghana Beyond Aid would happen. And one of the things that as an industry we would want to support is government's call to push all people to government payments through digital means.
The Deputy Minister of Communication, George Anda, said reasons given by the Chamber of Telecommunications for the increment are untenable.
Now, the biggest drill ship, Maersk Viking drill ship, has arrived in the Ghanaian waters the first time in West Africa. The drill ship has docked at the deep-water Tunnel Cape 3 Points block offshore Ghana. Operators of the drill ship, Aka Energy, says arrival marks an important milestone towards the start of the upcoming drilling campaign. The drill ship will commence drilling of the Pecan 4A appraisal well when all preparations have been completed. Maersk Viking is an advanced ultra-deep water drill ship capable of drilling in water depth of 3,600 meters. Under its contract with Aka Energy, the rig will perform the drilling of the Pecan 4A appraisal well in a water depth of 2,674 meters, located 70 miles off the coast of Ghana. Aka Energy is the operator of the block with a 50% participating interest. Also has Luke Oil, the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, and Fuel Trade as partners. The Securities and Exchange Commission is finalizing its corporate governance framework document for listing companies and the conduct of business guidelines for market operators. The Deputy Director General of the Commission, Paul Abebiu, who made this known at the launch of the 2018 Capital Market Week in Accra, is confident the two documents would ensure a robust capital market.
The Capital Market Week celebration is intended to create awareness of the capital market as an avenue for creating financial wealth and accessing long-term capital, which are essential to the country's economic growth and development. As at the end of the third quarter of this year, the industry's asset under management was over 40 billion cedis, approximately 20% of total GDP. The size and increasing scale of the market requires robust regulation, strong industry leadership by way of good corporate governance, and best practices.
We require that the market operators now also have fully formed boards. They have one or two independent directors, depending on the size of the company. We would also require that they have regular board meetings, they keep minutes, they keep records as well. So these are, I would say, highlights of some of these frameworks. They were vague, they were in the law and in the governing framework as it was, but it wasn't as robust. So now we're making it robust. We are making substantive reporting requirements coming out of this.
The president of the Ghana Securities Industry Association said the new measures are required to transform the capital market.
Yes, we've had our issues as an industry, and we feel that it is time that we cleaned up our act. There are certain things that have led to all that is happening. Not all of them are within our control, but we feel that where corporate governance is concerned, it is within our control, and so we should deepen the debate and think up implementable solutions to cleaning up our act.
The Ghana Securities and Industry Association is an industry association of firms regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Its current membership of 133 firms comprise of investment advisors, fund managers, broker-dealers, custodians, a stock exchange, and a depository.
And that's it for business this afternoon. Now back to some more stories. And government properties housed on a 14-acre of prime lands in Accra are to be pulled down to make way for the construction of the National Cathedral. This morning, Ghanaians were expecting to see bulldozers on site pulling down these buildings as social media was flooded with information of the commencement of the demolition exercise. My colleague Godfrey Tanam has been there.
There has been buzzing with lots of information about the commencement of a demolition exercise right here where the cathedral is going to be built. And so far, no one knows exactly where this information is coming from because no official information has been released from government to signal this. And there's no any activity ongoing in here to show that there's really a demolition exercise going on here where the cathedral will be built. Godfrey Tanam, TV3 News, Accra.
A former Information Minister, Fritz Bafor, warns government in part to back down on the appointment of staff in the various ministries. He was reacting to accusation of sector ministers appointing special assistants at the expense of professionals in the ministry on 3FM's morning show, Sunrise.
Let's say we're talking about the NCCE, we're talking about SRAJ, we're talking about the Electoral Commission, and all these things. We have to look at it from the point of view that, are we putting the right people in place? Are they going to work for Ghana, and not for the party per se, but work for Ghana? And there are a lot of people who are apolitical, who work their, pardon my word, butts off for this country.
Fritz Bafor, who was recently appointed the campaign director of the NDC flag-bearer hopeful, Alban Bagbin, said there is too much politicization in matters of national concern.
Well, I think that when you become overly partisan and you start putting your politicos in places where you need technocrats and you need people who are savvy, then we failed. And I think that even with us in our previous government, that became the order of the day. We've got to be very, very careful about that. And the fact that when a party comes in, we fire so many people because they're perceived to be belonging to the other party and everything, then you have a problem where for 2 years you can't work because people are adjusting to their new positions. Some of them may not be conversant with the workings of the various institutions that they're working in and everything. And you have these problems with mistakes and things like that.
Fritz Bafor's appointment as campaign director for Alban Bagbin, according to him, is not a betrayal of former President Mahama, who are both aspiring to lead the NDC in 2020.
President Akufo-Addo has charged the Ghana Revenue Authority to develop more innovative ways to widen the tax net to ensure effective national development. The president was speaking at the commissioning of the NCA Emergency Response Center and the Common Platform in Accra.
The Revenue Assurance and Traffic Monitoring Center, also known as Common Platform, is a monitoring platform established by the Ministry of Communications to assure government revenue in the telecom industry. The Common Platform is expected to monitor traffic, revenue assurance, mobile money monitoring and fraud management. Director General of the National Communications Authority, Joe Anoche, is confident that the platform will enhance Ghana's communication space. Communications Minister Ursula Owusu-Ekufo charged all mobile network operators to cooperate with the NCA, the GRA and KLNI GVG to make the platform achieve its intended purpose.
Failure to do so within the next 48 hours will result in the imposition of prescribed by Act 864. There was never any intention to infringe on the privacy of citizens' communications through the Common Platform. That was a myth put out by so-called think tanks and civil society organizations, which led to some even sponsoring lawsuits against the Common Platform. The injunction application was thrown out, thankfully, by the High Court, which indicated that they were born out of fanciful fears.
President Akufo-Addo urged the Ghana Revenue Authority to develop more effective ways of generating revenue for the state.
I urge other critical sectors of our economy, especially the energy, transport, and utility sectors, to collaborate with the National Cybersecurity Center to develop their computer emergency response units, as well as to deal with any eventuality which may occur. We are in a hurry to move this country forward. We have marked time for far too long. The time to realize the dreams and aspirations of our forebears in building a progressive and prosperous nation is long overdue. The time is now.
The National Communications Authority and the Ghana Revenue Authority will be the primary users and beneficiaries of the TBS Common Platform.
Well, President Akufo-Addo says government will provide funding to secure the country's cyberspace and establish a cyber security in Ghana. The president gave the assurance at the launch of the 2018 National Cyber Security Awareness Month in Accra.
The National Cyber Security Awareness Month offers a platform for information sharing and engagement and an opportunity to raise awareness of pertinent cyber safety and hygiene issues. The initiative is expected to promote better cybersecurity practices in line with government vision of creating a secure cyberspace for businesses and citizens.
Ghana is now an example for other regions, particularly in the ECOWAS sub-region, to emulate the modest strides that we're making. And the European Union has chosen Ghana as its center of operations in judicial training for judicial officers in the West African sub-region.
President Akufo-Addo said government will support efforts at promoting effective cybersecurity awareness in Ghana.
The concept of a safer digital Ghana, which is the theme for this year's event, reflects our collective decision to secure our nation's digital journey. We must all contribute in making the digital experience truly safe for our country and our region. Large-scale awareness programs such as this to inform the general public and government officials to develop a cyber security culture are necessary and would always receive the support of my government.
Aside a workshop for selected public sector officials on cybersecurity, there will also be one for MPs, cybercrime and electronic evidence training for Supreme and Appeals Court judges.
President Akufo-Addo says work on the Volta section of the Eastern Corridor roads will recommence soon. Energy Minister John Peter Amewu deputized for the president at the 2018 Festival of Chiefs and People of Betoy traditional area in the Volta region.
The $290.64 million Eastern Corridor Road project, covering 695 kilometers, has stalled. Travelers have to endure the pothole-riddled road, which is the shortest route between the southern and northern sectors of the country. The president, who was represented by the Minister for Energy, acknowledged the challenges and assured them of addressing the problem.
Work will definitely start on the Jatika to the Dupakasi part of the East Corridor as part of our Sino Hydro project.
The president also praised the uniqueness of the Agotime Kente fabric and commended the people for their resilience in the face of global market trend and piracy. The week-long festival was under the theme Attitudinal Change, a panacea for our future development.
And coming up shortly after this break is sports.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Midday Live here on TV3. My name is Anako Jafre with the sports updates. The details now. 10 years after hosting the 2008 Africa Cup of Nations, Ghana will play host again to a major tournament, that is the 2018 Africa Women's Championship, from November 17 to December 1. 8 teams are due to gather in Accra and Cape Coast over a 2-week period to determine the Queens of African football. And Eke Amankwa visited the Ghana Soccer Center of Excellence, where the Black Queens have been camping.
At the Ghana Soccer Center, where the Black Queens of Ghana have been here for the past 2 months to prepare ahead of the 2018 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. The Black Queens will be making their 11th appearance since 1991 in the competition. Their best result has been runner-up in 1998, 2002, 2006, and also 3rd place in 2016. They are hoping to do a host and win of the 2018 Africa Nations Cup. Since the start of the African Women's Championship, Ghana has never lifted the trophy. Later next month, they will have a massive responsibility to change that. The Black Queens will face Algeria in the opening game of the 2018 edition before playing Mali and Cameroon in the group. For weeks, they have been getting ready in Pram Pram, shutting out the uncertainty over Ghana's status as host. The Queens has fallen off the pecking order in African football. For long, the bridesmaid in African football behind Nigeria, Ghana has watched on as the likes of South Africa and Cameroon have caught on and in some cases taken over them. Coach Bashir Hereford is fully aware of that history, but as he watches the ladies chase the ball and go through their spaces, he is confident they will face the task without no pressure.
I have not been under pressure before. The reason being that I know what I can do and know what I'm doing. I am a trained teacher of maybe economics. I'm teaching at ACM junior high, and then you take me to Achimota, then say how pressure. That is what I've learned. So when I go to Achimota, the way I will teach is the same thing when I go to Mfantepim I will teach. So there shouldn't be any pressure on me. The pressure is the euphoria, is what the people expect, and so the pressure will take care of itself. But me as a coach, I don't have any pressure. And then because it is first time to Ghana is preparing very well to win the AFCON.
Janet Ayam is one of those Hayford will rely on for goals. She is in no doubt they can step up to it.
It's a privilege that we are in the team and we are playing in Ghana. We'll make sure the things that at least the other time they couldn't make it up to the finals, I think this time we are going to make it up. And as we are hosting, we are not only just going to the competition just to take part. No, we are going for the cup to qualify for the World Cup.
On to our next story, and we stay with the Black Queens. And former Black Queens captain Adra Bayo and goalkeeper Memunatu Suleimana are pleased with Ghana's group ahead of the Africa Women's Cup of Nations next month. Ghana have been drawn in Group A with Algeria, Mali and Cameroon during the official draw held at the Movenpick Hotel.
Our group is not really tough, just that only Cameroon that will give us tough time. But the rest, I think we will qualify to the next stage. For now, they are still here. They have to go and play friendly matches. But we are here. They are still training here. They said they are waiting for the professionals to come. So we are waiting for them to come. Maybe they will play 1 or 2 games. Then we see the team, whether they are ready or they are not ready.
We have met Algeria before, and we beat them, and we meet Cameroon. We beat them. We have met them before. We have been beating them. So I don't think it's a very tough group for us.
Do you think we can still do the host and win affair?
Of course. I assure Ghana will host and win.
And the Ghana Football Association opened for official business after its closure 4 months ago. The Secretariat will restart full operation with staff expected to be at post.
So work has returned to the Ghana Football Association headquarters 4 months after the Ghana Police Service declared it a crime scene and subsequently closed it down. Renovation works, as mentioned by the President of the Normalization Committee, Dr. Kofi Amoah, has been completed. The building looks fresher, the paved floors are looking brighter, but the major observation is that security has become tighter at the premises here at the Football Association. So work has begun. Officials are in there doing their work in a bid to return Ghana football back to normalcy. From the FA headquarters here in Accra, Yao Fusulabi for TV3 News.
And that's how we wrap up this afternoon's edition of Sports on Midday Live. My name is Anako Jaffe. Thanks very much for watching. Always a pleasure serving you. Good afternoon.
Now, the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi was planned days in advance. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has told MPs from his ruling party. He said Turkey had strong evidence Khashoggi was killed in a premeditated and savage murder at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on 2nd October. He also called for the suspects to be tried in Istanbul. He demanded Saudi Arabia provide answers about where Khashoggi's body was and who ordered the operation. The Saudi kingdom has provided conflicting accounts of what happened to the Washington Post contributor After weeks of maintaining he was still alive, the authorities now say he was killed in a rogue operation. Tuesday's address by President Erdogan coincided with the start of an investment conference in Saudi Arabia that has been overshadowed by the Khashoggi case, with dozens of government and business leaders pulling out. Many world leaders have condemned the murder of the prominent Saudi critic and demanded a full investigation. Let's take a quick break now. We'll be back shortly.